So here is an exact way that you should handle a Trump official on live TV. You don't debate the talking points that they try to fabricate. You go after the source itself. And in this clip, we see Mike Nellis on NewsNation with a panel that's stacked against him go up against Trisha McLaughlin, who is a DHS spokesperson, to her face and just state clearly that most of what it is that she says just flat out is not true. And she's been caught lying so many times inside the Trump administration. As usual, let's watch the clip in full. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts towards the end. Let's
Joining me now is the founder of American Islamic Forum for Democracy, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, former DHS spokesperson Trisha McLaughlin, and Democratic strategist and former advisor to Kamala Harris's campaign, Mike Nellis. Great to see all of you. Thank you so much. So, Zuhdi, let's start with you. It's just wild to see that this woman who was, mourning 9/11, going to this lengths of trying to commit a terrorist attack on the New York state capitol. She allegedly said that the White House was too difficult of a target, but she wanted to make sure that people died, so she targeted state senators. What is your response to just this news today from DOJ?
Well, I have to tell you, thank God for the FBI and that we have another foiled plot. And at the end of the day, we've been talking about cultural radicalization, about the demonization of the Jewish community, about the demonization of America, the oppressor versus the oppressed in our culture and our politics. And yet now we're reminded where that conveyor belt goes. Why anti-Americanism and blaming America it's not just about arguments, it's about a identity. The Islamists divide the world into the land of Islam and the land of war. Her language about the Senate in the New York state being taghut, which means in Arabic, it means of the devil, not of man, not of God. So this is a division of theology that we in the Muslim community need to own. And unfortunately, a big part of the American population, the far left, doesn't want to have that discussion, and they think it goes away just by not talking about it. And Islamist radicalism is hand in hand globally. My family saw this. It's global. Between the red and green axis, the far left Marxists are working with the Islamists to radicalize and take away countries like America that's based in freedom and liberty.
Yeah, 10 years ago, the State Department declared an actual genocide of ISIS taking out Christians and Yazidis in the Middle East. But now we're seeing this here today, Zuhdi, just as a follow-up. I mean, how is it, what do you make of ISIS being at play here in New York?
Well, it's interesting, and as the president of Syria now is a former ISIS, he has been targeted a few times, so there's an internal internecine battle within the radical groups about, are they going to normalize with a civilizational non-terror jihad, or are they going to actually work, continue to have a war, kinetic war? So this is a battle. At the end of the day, the target is the rest of us that are lovers of America, that would only die for America, and that are against the jihad. So we need to ramp up our verbiage about defending America and targeting the radical ideas and hold Muslims accountable and stop sort of this bigotry of low expectations where we dismiss any conversation with Muslims about radicalization in our own communities.
All right, let's switch to another story. Everyone remembers the, quote, Maryland man who the left claimed was just a hardworking illegal immigrant who was kidnapped by ICE, when in reality, Kilmar Abrego Garcia was an alleged human smuggler with domestic violence charges against him. And now the DOJ is urging a federal appellate court to reinstate criminal charges against him. Trisha, you, of course, were at DHS when all of this happened. Then in May, a judge dismissed the case against Garcia. So can you explain why DOJ is trying to reinstate these charges now?
Well, Katie, absolutely, and thank goodness that they are. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is allegedly an MS-13 gang member. A grand jury found that he was a full-time human trafficker, human trafficking being his full-time job. He would routinely abuse the women under his control. He solicited child pornography. His own wife, by her attestation, said that he abused her and her children, and he was involved allegedly in the killing of a rival gang member. This is an individual who's illegally in our country from El Salvador. He has yet to see justice. I'm glad to see the Department of Justice make sure that he sees that justice, but as well, once he serves his time, he should not remain in the United States. He should be deported back to El Salvador or elsewhere.
So, Mike, do you think that a man who's facing human smuggling charges is someone who should remain in the U.S., or is he someone that ICE should be taking out of the country?
Well, let's start here. I support removing anybody that is taking violent acts in this country and breaking the law. But they have lied so aggressively about this man. Much of what Trisha just said isn't true, as much of what Trisha usually says isn't true. She's been caught lying so many times when she was working inside the Trump administration. I can't believe she's allowed on TV to say this stuff. Just absolutely ridiculous.
We'll let her
to
respond
me.
to that in a minute.
Well, she can respond to that in a second, but I'd like to finish my point. It's just the number of times that the Trump administration and DHS have been caught lying about people. There's a reason that every time this makes its way in front of a judge, it gets thrown out. It's because Kilmar Abrego Garcia is not a human trafficker. He's a man that they keep harassing. They're not going after actual violent criminals. I'm sure they're going to catch some. You played some earlier at the beginning of this clip, but they keep just blanketly terrorizing immigrant communities, and it's ridiculous. Leave this man alone and stop lying about him. It's just absolutely ridiculous. There's plenty of people in this country who shouldn't be here, who have committed an actual violent act. Focus on getting rid of them. Stop lying about this guy and trying to make him some martyr for your cause. It's an absolute waste of federal tax dollars.
All right, Trisha, would you like to respond to Mike calling you a liar?
Yeah, Mike, I heard a lot of character assassination. I didn't hear any facts.
It's not a character assassination, it's just the truth.
Out of Tennessee, and maybe you would be equipped with the facts that I have, and that's exactly what I've brought to the table and what the Department of Justice will bring to the table. It is a shame that the media, and unfortunately the left, including yourselves, continues to lionize this individual who's involved in human trafficking and routinely broke our laws. He will see justice.
Every judge has thrown this out. It's not true. Like, just stop it. This is embarrassing.
Well, outside of what DHS has said and what the government has said,
DHS has zero credibility here.
Okay, well, local reporting from the Tennessee Star also showed that he was involved in human trafficking and
every
other
judge
crimes.
Has thrown this out.
So
it's not going to happen. They just
people can decide for themselves. But if we all agree that ICE should be removing criminal aliens. Well, we did. So it's great to see all of you. Zuhdi Jasser, Trisha McLaughlin, and Mike Nellis. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as usual, what we see is Katie Palage always will turn around and she'll run away. She runs away from any debate. Any debate that takes place, you see her, she will abruptly just end the interview because the things that it is that Mike Nellis is saying is true. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is sometimes the only move that works on a hostile network. If you think about Fox News, NewsNation is just the smaller version of a Fox News. You got OAN and all these other ones. Don't argue the facts that it is that they have just created themselves. I shouldn't even call them facts. What you need to do is you need to argue whether the individual who's stating these facts can be trusted at all. Saying DHS has zero credibility here is a whole media strategy in of itself, and it's 100% truth. They shouldn't be trusted. And the reason why they shouldn't be trusted is because we've seen, look at when it came to the murder of Renee Good, look at when it came to the murder of Alex Pretty, look at so many different cases where we found that DHS have just come out and completely lied about things because of the fact that there's no way that checks and balances can be done when it comes to them. Now, I want you guys to notice something. Notice the sequence. Deport the man first, invent a fabricated rap sheet second, and that's the Trump immigration playbook. Simply, in a few sentences, the punishment comes before the evidence, and the evidence is then assembled to fit the punishment. But that's the exact reason as to why they keep losing in court. And there's so many examples of them losing in court, even outside of immigration. Now, every single time this case touches a judge, it just falls apart. McLaughlin's answer to that wasn't a court record. It was, I heard character assassinations. I didn't hear facts. And when you've got the facts, you cite them. If these guys stood so heavily on what it is that they were saying, they wouldn't consistently be using the word allegedly. They wouldn't being accused because they know that there's nothing to this. They have just found someone that they want to demonize, that they want to make the poster child for their anti-immigration stance, and they keep on going after him. And this speaks volumes. The fact that it is that someone who is known so much for lying, for fabricating something, still gets airtime speaks volumes. But Katie Palage herself is an arm, is an extension of this Trump administration. And that's the reason as to why she has no problem whatsoever hosting someone like the former DHS spokesperson. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below on this exchange. As usual, Mike Nellis does a good job when he goes on NewsNation. I always love to see what it is that he does. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. As usual, I'll see you guys in the next one.